Do you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
So if you see here, we are just trying to learn about Azure DevOps, right? So first of all, what do you know about Azure DevOps? Why do we use? Where do you see this Azure DevOps? Can you quickly tell if possible?
Yeah, so Azure was basically used to assign tasks, get whatever information that we need to do over it, and then at the same time, it's also work as an repositories where we can push and pull the data for that's been used at the project level.
Okay,
Yeah, and
nice.
also we can design sprints, assign tasks accordingly,
Yes,
and pipelines for the deployment also.
yes, exactly. So basically, Azure DevOps will be used for it can work as a work items like a task like a dashboard to maintain the dashboards to maintain the task for each individual what he is working on what is the status of it like that to know that kind of work items also it will be work as a repository for code maintenance so you will be having writing some plugin code so we can't keep you in the your local machine right we can't keep you someone else machine so there should be a common place where everyone can get access get can use that get can update that like that we should have some common place right
Yeah.
like that we will use for repositories and the third thing is as we are in the continuous CI/CD notion so the continuous integration continuous development means without any manual integrations whenever you push some changes automatically the build pipeline will triggers it will trigger the release pipeline it will deploy so
Okay.
continuous integration continuous deployment. So to avoid the manual intervention, to avoid the manual, one second. Okay. To avoid the manual intervention dependence on the manual, we will follow the Azure CSAD basically. So that
Okay.
is also will be part of DevOps. And other thing is like to have to support this DevOps structure, we should have a proper build pipelines, we should have a proper release pipelines, right? So that will be maintained here. So apart from this, there will be a number of things will be there in the organization settings. We will go through each one. So basically, Azure DevOps will be used for work item tracking, code repository, pipelines,
Okay.
build pipelines, and release pipelines. Now, if you see, if you click on any devazoo.com, in the real, whenever you get a active subscription for Azure DevOps, it could be trial or production. They will ask you to create the organization. If you see under devazoo.com, this is the Microsoft structure. So for in general, for actual instead of trials, we don't have the trial. We will have the actual org name. Okay.
Yeah.
So and so 180 org Azure.com. Then we will have the individual sub organizations Azure DevOps. Here we will have the projects. Once you open the project, if you see, you have the overview section here. You have the board sections. You have the report section. You have the pipelines. You have the test plans. You have the artifacts. Everything.
Mm.
So what we said just now, we talked about work items, right? So the work item things, everything will come under here. So what is the work items the single developer is working on, single tester or whoever it may, or a business analyst. So everything related to the work
Mm.
tracking purpose, we will be create under a work item. We will create a work item. We will have it in the boards. So whenever you go high level, though, don't come to granular level, right? They want to have a some dashboards to see at the management level. So they will simply check the last month work. So here one more thing you need to learn. So whenever we talk about Azure DevOps, here we should learn about the Agile methodology. Why?
Yeah.
Because we are into continuous integration and continuous development, right? So in software practice, there are basically two kind of practices methods. One is
Yeah.
waterfall model where we will have the standard scope will be defined for the project what needs to be delivered what needs to be do like that and the other one is agile in the agile method like we will have a concept called sprint so few few companies follow 2 week sprint, few companies follow 1 month sprint, 4 week sprint, like that. Okay. So what they do 1 month sprint. So if you see here under boards, you have work items where we have the works. In the boards, we have the dashboards. You will see who can monitor the work, whatever the engineering team or the deployment team doing. Similarly, we will have the backlogs. Backlogs means for what can we take for the next sprint. Now, if you see sprint, so what I said sprint in the agile methodology, we will have a sprint concept. Here we will have the whether it could be 2 week sprint or 4 week sprint. We will mention about what can so in the 2 week span, what are the tasks we can assign to individuals. So that the duration will be we will call as a iteration. Now if you see you don't have any iteration dates here. So if suppose if I see from May 4th to let's assume I'm creating a 2 week sprint. So 2 weeks completed per here, right? Till 15.
Yeah.
So I'm just till May 17, I'm just marking it as next Monday. Till next one, 2 weeks Monday, I'm just marking as a save and close. Now, if you see May 4th, it is starting on May 4th and ending on May 17th, 5 work days remaining because usually everyone is working weekly 5 days, right? Like that,
Yeah.
automatically it is taking. So, this sprint one, you can say like, you can rename it as sprint one, or you can rename it as May sprint 2,
Yeah.
May sprint -1, May sprint -2, like that. So, if
Okay.
you consider yours is a 1 month sprint, it will be usually start from first week like this, not like 27th. So first Monday to last Monday like this. So next month, next June 1st to next series will be like that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's assume if it is a 4 week sprint, we will have like the single May sprint. Then the starting date will be first Monday, ending date will be the last Sunday of that. So if whenever you consider like this,
Yeah, start date is a little bit different.
better than it. Okay. This should be 4th, right?
Yeah.
This should be 31st. Now it is so now 15 days means why? Because 2 weeks completed already in the May. Next
Yeah.
2 weeks will be left. So like this, it will be. Now
Okay.
we see the sprint level is a very granular level where engineers, the developers, the actual Power Platform developer, CRM developer, data, whoever consuming this Azure DevOps, it's not only used for CRM, it will be used for all kinds of projects. It could be Java, it could be AngularJS. Every project will be basically Azure DevOps is not related to any technology. It's basically a platform where we can track the work items, where we can track the build pipelines, where we can maintain the code like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So under boards we have work items. Now let me create some work item. Now while creating work item, we will have different types of work items. So first one is here if you see issue is coming, right? So this is
Yeah.
one kind of work item. Suppose if we click on, let me see my first task in the project. You can give anything. I'm just saving it. Now if you see this is created as it is a new trial environment, that is number is starting from 1. In general, in your projects, it will be starting from some 4 digit or 5 digit some number.
Yeah.
Automatically generated. Now if you see as we created under May sprint, you have iteration is this May sprint. And if you
Okay.
see area, this is under D365 practice. Basically, this area is a project. Iteration is the which sprint you are working on.
Okay.
Now, if you see, this is the first one. Now, we to know how many types of work items we can create. Either you can trial it from here. Click on 3 dots, change type. So if you see, click on epic task like that, we will have, right?
Yeah.
Basically, here you need to learn one more concept called basically. Let me open some more. Okay. So now we are under work items concept, right? So in the work items, there can be n number of. So in general, for any new implementation, they will call as a feature or user story.
Okay.
So that is basically because you want to implementing for the first time. You want to creating a new capability for the project. So for that kind of items, we will be create as a feature. So in this feature, we will be adding like some new button functionality. Let's assume.
Yeah.
So here you will be creating all the details, like what needs to be the behavior, what are the validations we need to keep, what are the acceptance criteria, everything you will be defining in the feature.
Okay.
So feature will be like a high level requirement, we can say simply. Under feature, we will have the user stories. Okay. So
Yeah.
user stories will be basically subtype of feature. So if you have button, in that button, in general, we'll have a single requirement. Button implementation is a straightforward requirement. But
Yeah.
suppose if your feature is about integrations, in the
Yeah.
integrations you will have multiple. A feature is a simple task. Simple means a single task, kind of implementing a new implementation. But in general, if you want to implement any integration, you have to divide that integration into 3 4 types, right? Like creating the schema, creating the .NET files, creating the integration endpoint, like that, so many. So
Mm.
under single feature you will have a user stories. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So basically user story can be same as feature or subtype of feature.
Okay.
If it is a smaller one, we will have the same feature and user story will be same. Otherwise it will be sub or
Mm.
partial implementation instead of sub. Partial work of feature, we can say. Now, under this user stories, you will have the each level device task. So, in the current sprint, you have assigned this feature. So, so for that user story, you created a user story. For that user story, you will work day to day, right? You will have 2 week sprint. So 10 days you have. So to make it more granular, so what you have done today, like that, you will be creating the task device tasks. These are like optional. I'm telling what we follow in general. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So task will be like a minor task, minor work item for what you do in the day, every day to day.
Okay.
Okay, so in the work items we have feature is one type. Under features we have user stories task. The next thing is we will have a bug.
Mm.
So you have done the development. So development, you move to the test environment. You have the some business analyst or whoever the testers are there. They identified some issue in the implementation. So what they will do, they will create a work item that is for that issue, that will be called as a bug. Bug means some issue in the implementation, whatever you did.
Okay.
So if you see right now, if you see whenever we are creating, we are getting this as an issue, right?
Yeah.
It terms whatever issue, whatever the user story epic you are getting, right? These words also we can configure for our project.
Okay.
So it's not like a constant we have to use. So here if you see epic task, right? So this words, whatever in some projects they will be used user story, some projects they will be task, some projects they will be using work items, right? So
Yeah.
this words also you can configure. So the
Okay.
basically in our normal CRM projects we will use features, user stories, task, bugs concept.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The third one we can say test cases.
Okay.
Now, if you see, whenever we just discussed it in the beginning, we just talked about boards, we talked about repos, but we never talked about test plans, right? So, in
Yeah.
the test plans, what we will do, we will maintain the test scripts. So,
Okay.
for that feature, if you want to do a evaluation, suppose you have done your implementation, you move to production. Before production moving itself, you gone. It means you left the organization.
Okay.
They have the pipeline, they can release everything, but they might know, they might not know, right? What are the cases, what are the scenarios they need to cover.
Yeah.
So in general, what how they follows, for every user story they will be creating a test plan as well, test suite as well. In the test suite they will create the different scenario. So as part of this implementation, these things must work. As part of this implementation, these are the primary validations to make it production go live, like that.
Okay.
That kind of test related stuff we will be maintaining in the test plans.
Okay.
So now what we have seen, work items we have seen, boards will be see, if we see under work items you will be have one work.
Mm.
It's showing assigned none. So if you see here, you have type. you have assigned to state everything, right? So here the state also you can control everything.
Okay.
So in general, we will have active, new, close, resolved.
Yeah.
These also to do, doing, done. These organization organizations, it will differ. So based upon their Scrum practice, they will be using this. Do you know
Okay.
what I mean by Scrum?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a daily sync up where they will see what the status of everything going on in the sprint specifically, and then according to those steps, they will prioritize their tasks and everything.
Yes. So this is also under part of Agile only. So under Agile concept only, we will have the sprint, we will have the Scrum, everything Scrum Master will be there. They will take the daily status updates. They will be discussing about the blockers what they have, like that everyday progress.
Okay.
So like that is also part of Agile only. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we'll have the what do you call in the Scrum. We can based upon the Scrum practice means active the status can be decided as well. Okay, the
Mm.
subtitles also everything we can configure in the project settings. We will see at the end.
Okay.
Now, if you see for every task or bug user story, you will have description and discussion. So in the description, we will have the details about what's need to be done. If it is a task or feature or user story, we will mention about what needs to be implemented.
Okay.
If it is a bug, what is the bug about? How it is a bug? They want to do some they are expecting some expected behavior, but that is not happening. So and so like that they will have in the description. Usually we will have the information about this particular work item. It could be task, it could be user story, it could be bug. So in the discussion, so you are suppose I am a lead for this project and I am running the application. I'm the front from master. So you just I have some query in your implementation. So I can have a kind of tagging here. So I can maintain here like this. I can tag the person whoever is working on or who want to tag here. So what's the current status? Where on it? Like that. So instead of pinging in the teams, instead of following on the mails, current status of this feature, current state of this work. So like this we can tag. So when we do tagging like this one, so a notification will be sent to that person. Okay. So he can see that comment. So he will get an email. So he understood like my Scrum Master is expecting some update. I have to give some update. He can come back and give the update here, or he can reach out over Teams and share the status like that. So
Yeah.
basically, in the discussion, we will have the kind of a interactive. So if we want to tag
Okay.
anybody,
So we
suppose
can document here everything that we are
yes.
doing. Okay.
So related to this task. Okay.
Yeah.
Now coming to here, you have a priority concept, and this is the what kind of task priority they will if you want. And if you see effort, so in the effort terminal, some keeps hours. What is the efforts needed for this task? Some keeps like a points, user story points. We will call. Do you know in the agile methodology, we will use the Fibonacci series 1, 2, 3, 5 like that.
Yeah.
The complexity of the task we will be mentioned here effort. Okay.
Okay.
So basically we will follow the Fibonacci series. So if it is one very dead, three means some after time, 2 means after time, 3 means 1 day, 5 means 2 days. Like that they will define. Basically it's a Fibonacci series.
Okay.
So until 8 or 9 we will be follow.
Okay.
Okay. So basically that defines the complexity of the task. Clear here till here?
Yes. Yes.
Now here in the audit history, this is kind of a audit history. So here if we see who create because I'm logging with this account. I created the issue, so it's on my name. But in general, someone will be created the task, someone will be working on, someone will be commented, right? So
Yeah.
here you could see entire actions. Suppose someone assigned the task, you don't know you have some issue in understanding. So you can reach out to if you want to reach out to them, you can see who created this work item. So you can reach out to them, you can have ping them or you can tag him like that. Now if
Okay.
you see you have links. So just now I told you right for for feature we will be having the under user stories we will have under task. So that kind of parent child everything relations we will be maintaining here. If you see
Okay.
work item type, issue task, affected link type child, link type parent, link type duplicate. So these are the kind of work items, links between the two issues, two work
Okay.
items. So we can correlate based upon this links option. Okay. Now, if we want to have any document for this feature, suppose they given some raw data to use it for implementation, like security roles, privileges. So this has to be BU level, this has to be org level, this has to be. So they can't mention in plain text, right? So they want
Yeah.
to give it in a table. They want to give a some Word document. So such things we will be maintaining here in the attachments. So you can
Okay.
attach your files from local like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is basically about a single work item. Here we will have that. These will be common for everything. Whether it could be short talk, description, discussion. This everything is common. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Any questions here?
No, no. This is clear.
Now this is work items. Right? So let's deep dive into board. Here
Okay.
if you see, we are just into a. This is the D6 practice CRM practice team board.
Okay.
So I have my lead who works at architect level. He will be have visibility to 4 or 5 projects. So
Okay.
he can't come work at M level. He can't see the everything, right? So in such scenarios, they will be creating some boards. Now if you see here doing 0 by 5 done to do. So by seeing this, we can create our own boards where we can maintain the what you call where we can maintain the status. So how many have completed, how many have left. So without going into single granular level, they can see it from here, right? One is completed, two is in status, like that.
Yeah.
Four are done. So how many are left, how many are in progress, so how many are left, like that they can
Okay.
see. Like, so basically boards will be useful for that purpose.
They can get a complete report of what's
Yes,
going on. Yeah.
yes. So now if you come to backlogs, here backlogs will be like, suppose we will be having the business analyst who will be working on the business requirements. So they will be gathering the requirements, right? So whenever they are having the requirements with client, they will be creating a work item. Everything they will be creating here. So based upon the team's availability for the next sprint, every month they will have some sprint planning in from the sprint planning. So I have 4 members capacity. So I have to take 20 user story points. So like that from the backlog, they will be pulling the items to the sprint. So
Okay.
backlog is like an entire project scope will be maintained. So what is suppose in general every for 6 months they will have a backlog. What needs to be done? They will be prioritized based upon the urgency. But at least 3 months or 6 months they will maintain the backlog. So these are the implementants. These are the features we're going to implement in the upcoming sprints like that.
Okay.
So from the backlog, every sprint planning, they will pick some user stories, they will assign to the developers like that. It will go.
Okay.
So sprint is always talk about the current system, current iteration. So this is my iteration. If you go
Mm.
to next month June sprint, it will be start from June
The-
first Monday to last like that. So
Okay.
like that in the I don't have any work items because I haven't have the grooming. I haven't created work items like that. So every sprint we can see the iteration. So if you after 2 months, if you want to come back and see what I implemented in the May sprint, you can come here and you can switch to May sprint. You can see the work items, how many what you did. You can share the report. Suppose the so and so features I implemented. So like that, you will have a clear track of the work items in what sprint they implemented, what is the status, where they are.
Okay.
So this queries is normal about to create dashboards, everything. So this will be work on the work items only. See work item type, state, 2 days, minute. If you want to pull the work items after last 6 months, how many features we delivered. So you will be implementing based upon the epic or feature like that. Feedback. These are the types. We can have any types. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
these queries that we will run over here, so these are for personal view or else for a whole organization, anyone can look into this.
good question. So here it is showing my query. Suppose if you want to save it for any dashboard save also,
Yeah.
that will be basically that will be created by scrum masters and they will be sharing, they will be adding the boards also. We will be having a query by default. It won't create directly. To
Okay.
create any dashboard board, they will be using some query, right? How whom to suppose under an architect we will have three different projects. To
Yeah.
see each board, he want to create separate query, right?
Yeah.
So queries are like a kind of views in the CRM dashboards. We will be using dashboards like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So in the CRM dashboards also you will be having the individual views, right?
Yeah.
Same way. So queries are the views, dashboards are like a dashboards.
Okay.
Understood?
Got it.
So this delivery plans analytics, this will be used for the scrum masters. What will be the plan they want to have it for next quarter, next 6 months, and what is the analytics view like? Basically, it will show entire metrics, kind of how many closing time, how many left after sprint, so like that. So bugs
Okay.
history, everything like a kind of a report for reporting purpose. If you say task
Okay.
last issues today, issues last, these are kind of views only, but
Hmm.
to make it a kind of analytics for in some other reporting purpose they will be using. So any
Okay.
questions in dashboards, boards under Azure DevOps?
No, not right now. Yeah.
Sure. Nandan. Let's move to repos. Now,
Okay.
what? Yeah, tell me.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Let's start the post.
Yeah, in the repos, what will we know? Just so we will be maintaining the code, right? So to maintain code here, what we want to know, you will be having some .NET project, you will be having some Angular project, you will be having some console or whatever, you will be having some TypeScript. So instead of avoid maintaining local DBs, local repositories, we will be using Azure DevOps to maintain it in the cloud level. So whoever part of your organization, they can connect, they can implement, they can work on, they can put like that, right? So basically, repos will be maintained for code, will be used at cloud level instead of local.
Okay.
Okay. So repo means, if you see for your project, you will be having some D365 practice. So in your D365 practice, you have some API, you have some normal CRM. So in that scenarios, for a single project, you can have multiple repos as well. For API, you want to have a separate solution. It will obviously it will be a separate solution, but plugin will have separate solution. API will have separate solution.
Yeah.
So in such scenarios, you can have a single repo or multiple repos. You can be created based upon the need. So basically, in this repo, you will be having the entire information about that particular project. So let's
Okay.
assume we are using .NET class library for CRMs. So whenever you deal with CRM plugins, what you will have, you will be having CS files, you will have CS project, everything, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you do with you do check in the your repos to here, so that will be come here, push it here. So if you see under repos, you have files. Right now we haven't cloned, right? That's why it is showing as clone to your computer to have a local connection. Because to push to Azure DevOps, you from obviously what is the from the IDE integrated development environment we will be working, right? It could be VS Code or it could be Visual Studio. So
Yeah.
from there only you will be working on the files, you will do the check-ins, right? So when you do check-ins, the everything will become here in the repos. You could see the files, you could see the commits, who committed it, is your teammate committed the last change, or is your like that. So actually we should have a separate, we should clone and set up something, but we will today we will just see high level, okay?
Okay.
So here you will be having branches, right? For the branches, so in your project you have 4 members. So let's assume in the current sprint we have a 4 members assigned to 4 different plugins they are working on. So, but
Yeah.
at the end, after completion of sprint, all 4 members changes should go into a main branch. They should go to test our production, right?
Yeah.
So how does so every sprint users developers will create their own branches. In that one branches, they will add the extra changes whatever they are doing for their sprint. Then they will create pull request to club the changes. Then in the main branch they will club every changes. Then it will be pushed to test our production environment. So
Okay.
basically branches are like individual reference. So you are working on some case plugin, someone is working on the contact plugin. So
Okay.
you will make your changes and you will push here in the Azure DevOps.
Mm.
He will make some changes and he will push to Azure DevOps at the end. But you have to register both plugins. You have to move both plugins at the end, right? So
Yeah.
such scenarios we will be combining these branches with pull request concept. Okay.
Okay.
So in the pull request we will be having the what do you call source branch. What is the source branch? Where do you want to merge like that?
Okay.
So in the pull request, we will be combining the merging the all individual changes and we will make into a single place. So kind of a versioning you can assume. So we should have a master version. We have some local versions, right? So
Yeah.
for the master version only you want to deploy to the target environment. So in the local versions you will have the 1, 2, 3. So at the end it will be combined everything into master. Then you will generate a new DLL. It should be uploaded, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the local branches is nothing but a in the developer branches. So
Okay.
the combining process is called as the pull request concept. Okay.
Okay.
So I will have this set up sometime and we will can have some deep dive into here as well. Okay.
Okay.
So this is about repos. Any questions here?
No, in future I will ask. Right now, I'm not 100% sure about it. So in future I
Yes.
will ask.
Okay. Then come to pipelines. So what did I say about pipelines? So as we are following to CI/CD DevOps, DevOps means what is basically development plus operations.
Yes.
So the both should work from a single, both should work as a single team, right? So development means who work on the engine from the engineering team, like who wrote code, who make changes, who make the components. Operations team basically to deploy those changes, to maintain those changes, to release the changes, who like that.
Yeah.
So as the clubbed development team and operations, that is the nothing but a DevOps. Under
Okay.
DevOps teams to support that kind of integrity, that kind of continuity, we will be following this pipelines concept. So in the pipeline, what we will be doing, we will be creating the pipelines. What has to be done as part of pipeline. So simple words we can say pipeline is nothing but a kind of task or some particular thing. It will deliver a job. Now if you see
Okay.
where is your code, Azure DevOps, Azure Repos, GitHub like that. So ours is Azure DevOps. So now if you see you don't have any repositories here, no matching repository. But in general you will be having some repositories, you will be selecting some project, then you will
Mm.
be configuring, right?
Yeah.
So what we need to do, so in general, suppose to deploy a plugin, what we will do? We will
Okay.
write the code, we will generate the DL, we will open the plugin registration tool,
Yeah.
we will update the DLL, and we will create some new step. So everything, whatever you are doing here, it is manual.
Yeah.
So to avoid manual dependency, to make it everything as CSED, what in general we do, we will create a pipeline where it will connect to our repository,
Mm.
where it will connect to our class library, it will generate a DL. We will be using Power Platform tasks for updating the pipeline, deploying the pipeline, adding the steps, everything. So in the pipeline itself, we will define. So
Okay.
suppose a similar kind of power automate, what it will do whenever you triggers it, it will run the different steps, right?
Yes.
Pipeline also you will be define the steps what you want to execute. You want to connect to repository first. You want to pick the class library. Then you want to generate a DLL. After generating the DL, you want to connect to Power Platform CRM. Then
Yes.
after connecting to the CRM, you have to go to so and so plugin. You have to update the DLL. You have to
Okay.
update the so and so step like that. So in the pipeline basically we will define the task whenever it triggers what has to be done.
Okay.
So once you make it as part of pipeline, you don't need to do anything, right? So whenever you push changes on the release deployment day, you will come to pipeline, you will just trigger it. So
Yes.
as part of the pipeline job, it will execute the so respected mentioned task, everything. It will deploy the changes to the target environment, whatever you mentioned in the pipeline. So in general, we will be having the two different pipelines. One is for pre-prod, one is for the production. For the production pipeline, will be used for deploying the bits to the production. Pre-prod will be used for deploying the changes to UAT or some lower environment.
Okay.
So you will be defining just now we cleared the pipeline. So once you have the repository structure, we can explore more detail this pipelines as well. Okay.
Okay.
And this environments is nothing but it's kind of a grouping. It's nothing to do with. It's kind of a layer. If you want to create, suppose in general for under single project organization, you will be having multiple project. Under multiple project, you will have small applications, right? For
Yeah.
layering purpose, we will be using these environments. Nothing to bother about it. Okay.
Okay.
And in the libraries, here we will be defining. Suppose whenever you see, whenever working on a glass library project, you will be working on, you will be selecting that what you call new manage NuGet packages, right? On the manage
Okay.
NuGet packages, you will be in general it is connecting to the Microsoft.com. But in some projects, what they want to do, they don't want to install any unwanted, unverified components. They want to have a strict guidelines to use of some. So in such scenarios, they will create the libraries, and in this libraries they will add the whatever the DLLs, what are the
Okay.
NuGet package they can install. So that kind of maintenance will be used for library.
Okay.
Okay, so these repos and pipelines are closely coupled. Like, so if you have the proper repo, you can create some pipeline and have it. We can explore. Okay,
Okay.
that's
One small thing here. So this Azure DevOps pipeline and Power Platform pipeline, these are closely integrated to each other also. Like if I want to move something from dev to UAT and or else from dev to production, I should also create the Power Platform pipeline also along with this, or only using Azure DevOps I can do that.
no, no. Actually, whatever you ask is a good question.
Okay.
Azure DevOps is a complete independent platform. It can work for CRM, it can work for .NET, it can work for Angular, it can work for Python.
Okay.
So under Power Platform also we have pipelines, right? That is
Yeah.
leveraging the Azure DevOps concept. So they will be using Power Platform connectors, everything.
Okay.
So from the Power Platform also you could whenever you ask for deployment, it will ask you to choose the Azure DevOps, whatever you have Azure DevOps. It will ask you to select it. So
Okay.
it will create a branch. It will deploy. Okay.
Got.
So both are kind of integrated, but both are not same. So this is complete. Azure DevOps is a complete independent. It can work for any technology, but Power Platform you can work for only CRM related, right? Model apps or Power Apps.
Yeah, got it. So both are independent, but we can use either of them for
Yeah, so
development in
you
Azure.
can't use both. Suppose if you want
Okay.
to have it in the Power Platform itself, you can have a create a Power Platform. So you can mention the environment, target environment. You can have the what is the source, where should deploy everything. You can mention if you try.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let me show if possible. Where it is. See, these are my managed. Connected to Git. So what is the environment you want to? So here it will ask the what is the organization you have, what is the project, what is the repository, what is the.
Okay.
So if you see here, project, repository, branch. So where do you have all this?
Azure DevOps.
So it will be integrated. Azure DevOps
Okay.
also integrated to Power Apps. So this is kind of so as I don't have any Azure DevOps under my this trial, it's not showing
Okay.
anything. In general, you
Okay.
will be having using a single subscription kind of work it for everything, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So
And then
even if I choose to use Power Platform for the deployment, I should use Azure DevOps underneath it by
yes,
connecting it to it. But I can do everything with Azure DevOps alone also.
yes.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, where are we? Now we are done with repos pipelines. Right? The next
Yeah.
thing is pipeline test plan. So just now in the beginning I told right. So basically, why do we use
It's like an user manual.
test plan? So limited subset of the test plan feature, no critical components. So basically, test plans will be used for to maintain the hygiene, to maintain the what needs to be done as part of that feature, what needs to be fun. After deployment, you have to do some smoke testing, right?
Yeah.
Everything, whether the business scenarios, all everything are working as fine or not.
Okay. So
So
the yeah.
to have that kind of practice, we will maintain the test plans. So test plans basically will have the test cases. What do you mean by test case? It will have a scenario what you have to test. It will have some prerequisite. What should be their prerequisite to perform that activity? What are the steps you need to follow as part of that? Like that, we will have the test case. So if you have multiple test cases, we will call it as combined. We will have the test suite. Like that, So this is basically a testing team will be using it, but it is as we are under DevOps teams, everything from tracking the work items, code changes, deploying, testing, everything will come under AD only.
Okay.
So that's how this tool is developed. So it will be used for high-end, the kind of architect level managers. It will be used for high-end normal developers. It will be used for operation team if you have a deployment team. Same way it will be used for testing team if they. But in general, in our most of the scenarios, the recent practice is like every if developer is working on the creating the work items. He is only working on the coding changes. He is only making the release. He is only
Yeah.
working the testing the changes. In the starting of those earlier, we used to have a different teams for testing, different teams for
Okay.
deploying, different teams for development, different teams for gathering requirements. But as part of this modern fast forward era, the single team is working as everything. So they only test the changes, they only deploy the changes, they only make the changes, they only connect with client for the requirement, like that. So based
Yeah.
upon the size, based upon the project scope, based upon the severity, this will be differ. Okay.
Okay.
And next thing is artifacts. So when I say artifacts, basically you can consider this as a the core component for the deployment. Suppose what is the core component for plugin deployment?
Plugin registration to registering.
Next,
Like
what
getting
is
the execution context for the plugin also, connecting
yes?
it to Dataverse.
Mm. So basically, to move your plugin changes, what we will move in general?
DLL file.
Yeah, yeah, DLL. So
Yeah.
similarly, for every component, if it is a class library, DLL will be there. If it is a console, EXE will be there. If it is
Okay.
a function app, it will be having some other component,
Yeah.
executable content. So like that, for everything, you will be having some core component, right, to move across the environments.
Hmm.
Those we will be maintained in the artifacts.
Okay.
So whenever pipeline runs, pipeline will move your changes one environment to another. So plugin, if you have to move a plugin, what you have to move plugin, you have to deploy your DLL only, right?
Yeah.
The DLL will be stored in the artifacts from the dev environment. It will reuse
Okay.
it to import to UAT. It will reuse it to deploy to production. So artifacts is a kind of a core component for the moving the components. It,
Okay.
for plugins, it is DLL. If it is a console, it is executable like that. Okay.
Okay.
So artifacts is not a separate concept. Under pipelines only, we will have artifacts. Where do you want to store the once you connect it to dev environment? Where do you want to store the DLL to use it in the target environment? Like that, we will maintain.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we see to have it the configuration. So so in general, as we are a trial account, we created this. We can have some control here in the project settings. But in general, you will be the least who has the privileges to edit this because usually this will be at org level, right? So
Yeah.
SMs, very high people will have the access to change the projects, to change the teams. So under one project, we can have multiple teams. So you can have different team like this. You can create some other. So who can be the administrator like that? You can mention
Okay.
the group already exists. So like this, right? You can create teams. You can maintain the permissions. You can have the notification service books. So service is basically to connect to the external components. So it could be Power Platform or it could be Azure, it could be Azure Keyword like that.
Okay.
Dashboard. So whenever you create subscription, it will ask you to where do you want to connect to. You will come to Azure App Service, Azure Service Bus. These are kind of a connection. The Power Automate will have connections to connect to different components, right? So
Yeah.
similarly, these services are the component like that. So boards, project configuration. So in the project configuration, what are the boards you want to see? See if you want to see D3 like this. If you want to create any other from here also you can create team configuration. Who so we are seeing right by default we are getting 5 days. We want to
Hmm.
have Saturday also, or if you want to have a 4 days work week. So everything related to the project you can configure from this project. So
Okay.
one thing we should learn, right? In 99% we don't have access to specifics until you are in some good position. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And under pipelines, so to execute pipelines, if you are running in the local end, you will be running it from your local machine, right? So your local machine CPI will be executed. But to run any job, any pipeline in the Azure, that needs some cloud computer, right? So
Yeah.
basically, those are the agent pools. So for based upon the project license, they will be allocated some default agent pools, or some will be buying some different agent pools to make it, because that agent
Mm.
pipelines will only have the DLLC with the core thing, right? To
Yeah.
make it more secure, they can have a separate one pool, and they can maintain they can do the pipeline computing there, like that. So agent pools are nothing but the where the pipelines runs. Okay.
Okay.
Parallel jobs, I don't know what it is. Probably maybe some other, but I don't know it. I never used it. Settings, days to keep, days keeps, and these are normal. Everything about normal configuration in the pipelines, test management, test. It's about test suite configuration, system detection, all kind of thing only will be doing from here. Repos. If you have only single report. If you want to create another report, you can create from here, like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Pipelines also we seen, artifacts also. If you see under artifacts you have storage. So the executable or console, where do you want to store the packages? What we you do want everything.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
No, no, no. Everything is clear. So if in my this project, if I want to add someone else, I want to give access to a new, suppose in my organization, a new developer has joined. I want to give him access to Azure DevOps, then from where I should do that?
Project settings permissions.
Okay.
If you see, you can add new group. These are the groups who has already access. So you can suppose this is our team. If you want to onboard on one more user,
Hmm.
here you can add directly. So he will be also get access to this project.
Okay.
That's how
So
we manage. Yeah.
yeah, so the end user will get a link to register something like that, or else directly he can
Yeah, that's
register.
what. These permissions in generally they don't do manual this. So they will have some tool. They will be using some tools, access tools to to raise the access in general. But
Okay.
we can just ask the lead, whoever leading the scrum. That we can ask them like, so and so access is not there for you, so you are unable to see the project repo or project dashboard.
Yeah.
So then they will check your access. In general, instead of a single individual things, they will be adding the DLs. For every
Okay.
project, they will have some distributed groups, right? DLs, distributed list.
Yeah.
So in the distributed list, once they add it automatically, they will add a respect everywhere wherever the DL is present.
Okay.
So that you should they will maintain the DLs. So how DL means they will have they are nothing but Azure. You see groups. They have some group LT8. So here, this is the suppose this is my project group.
Okay.
Here I will add all my project who are part of this.
Okay.
Now what I do, I will add this object ID directly here in the group. The member is given email may be emailed. Let me get detection. Let me search with the name only. Maybe inventory group. So basically, we will have a tenant concept in Azure.
Okay.
So to support cross tenant, this organization and this Azure should be in a both tenant, like that we will be having.
Yeah.
So in general, as we are working on a real time project, everything will be single, right? So
Yes.
they whatever the security group they are using, they will be using for same for Microsoft Power Apps. They will be using for Azure. They will be using the same Azure DevOps. So that they will maintain. So
Okay.
once they added to the security group, automatically wherever the security group is added, everywhere they get the access.
Okay. Once they just need to be added to this group.
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions?
No. It for now.
Chalo then.
Regarding this repos and pipelines, once we can get into that, then I will get some new
Yeah, I
question.
will have to actually to make it explain. I should have some local setup. So we can connect in some time this week or next week.
Okay.
Chalo then.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.